Hey everybody, it's Tyler from Cradle of Civilization here. Today we are doing a Civ 6 Settling Cities tutorial. This is actually part 2 of a new series we're doing here on the channel called Where Would You Settle? Today's video is with the Mayans. This is not going to be scripted, but we'll try and teach you a thing or two for beginning players and specifically single player more or less. But anywho, so what we're doing is analyzing the start location here. I've done a short little video asking where would you settle, and a bunch of people responded, so we will be going over the responses after I do what I would do. So basically here, the first thing I do when I am playing a game and specifically looking to settle is I pop over into the strategic mode. You can hit it, the hotkey is hitting the equal key. I just always do this when I'm planning cities. It makes it easier for me to personally just see things better and plan my cities better. So the first thing that I would do personally, taking a look at this starting location, first off, it's really shitty for the Maya. We do not see like a single plantation based resource, which we need for the adjacency bonuses of our of the observatories, which is the unique science district. So the first thing I would do, well, I am going to move the settler onto this Plains Hill over here, most likely. However, before I go ahead and move the settler, which is the most important piece to move, we're going to move our warrior. We want to be able to see more of the surrounding tiles because, again, we're playing with the Maya, which means the fresh water doesn't mean shit other than for commercial hub districts. That's basically the only thing that we'd keep the river in mind for at this point, to be completely honest. Or at least I would, I should say, not we. But anywho, what we are going to do is pop over to the plains, or the plains hill, the grassland hill over here with the warrior. Now, the reason we're doing this is because if we move to the east, or sorry, the west or southwest here, we're not going to be on a hill. So moving here will actually give us more visibility in the surrounding areas. Again, we are really hunting for a luxury resource that is plantation based. That is ideally what we're going to hopefully find, but again, shit out of luck so far. So this is a really dirty start for the Mayans, to be completely honest here. So we struck out with the warrior, that's fine, but at least we know that there's nothing in the surrounding vicinity. So now we're going to take the settler and pop across the river over here. This is on standard time speed. We have 500 turns to go, so when you're playing standard, ideally you want to settle as quickly as you can, but realistically, as long as you're settling by turn 3 or 4 at the very latest, you're okay. Again, you don't want to do that, but if you're like hardcore about not respawning, then you should still be decent with that in effect. But now with our move there, we do not see a single plantation based resource, so this is a very garbage start for the Maya. So now I need to think about this for a minute. Because we are the Maya, and what we want to do basically is we want to make sure that we have flat land nearby that we don't need to chop, like whether it's jungle or forest, because you want to get farms up with them as quickly as you can, in order to get your housing increase, because we don't have that fresh water bonus. So basically we are shit out of luck with this start and it would be a very rough start. But what I would be doing is most likely moving over here to this plains hill tile and settling on turn 3. So that's what we'll go ahead and do. We're just going to pop over and hit the next turn, move our settler there. At least we did find irrigation based, like a plantation based resource, so that is actually very good for us, and we would definitely be settling on turn 3 next turn in place there. We do have the 1-2-2 tile. It's not amazing, but we do have a 1-3, and production is important with the Maya. Again, this is a very garbage start, but at least now we know we have a plantation based resource that we can get an observatory going, and we can go ahead and go on from there. So again, I'd keep scouting with the warrior and settle next turn. So that is what I would do and how I would have played it if I was playing this. So let's pop back into the strategic view, and now I'm going to pull up the comments and go through them. Oh, fuck off. Is there a turn timer on? Hold on. there is. Alright. Well, can I pause this? I can't even pause it, can I? It's still counting down. Oh my god. I forgot when I did this, I had all these mods on, so there's turn timers and everything, because there's multiplayer helper on this. So, whatever. We'll just let this go by. And yeah, let's go through the comments here. So, the first one, let's see. So, Mikhail, and again, everybody who knows me knows that pronunciation is my kryptonite, so forgive me. I'll do the best I can with the ones that are less easy for me to say. But we got, the first suggestion is to move on cattle and settle, from Mikhail Kozhevek, I think that's how you pronounce it. So we would have been, where did I go? I went to here. So we were here originally, so he would have moved on the cattle and settled. So for instance, I would completely disagree with that, Mikhail, because for one, we need production. So if you moved down there, we would literally have no 2-2 tiles at all in our inner ring whatsoever. And yes, the truffles are there, but those are, you build a camp to get those truffles, and so that would actually put you in a very, very bad spot, because you really need production. Like, ideally, you want a 2-2 tile or more in any settling. So yeah, that is why I would not do what you would suggest there. And then, so the next suggestion was 1 tile northwest or 2 tiles southeast, and that was from David D Gamer. So again, this was, oh no, this one was, hold on, I'm gonna pin that so I don't forget. This was our original start, so we'll just click there. Okay, so what did he say? 1 tile to the northwest. That would actually be a very good start if we weren't for the Maya, so that's actually not a bad suggestion in and of itself. We do lose the grassland hill by settling on it, because you only get the 2-2 city bonus when you settle on Plains Hills. However, that does give you 3 2-2 tiles in the inner ring, which is very good for production. And it does still leave us a grassland tile here to make a farm on to get our housing increase. So that's not a bad suggestion at all. I still like what I did here, because I'd rather take a turn 3 settle and have more farming locations. Like, farming the wheat here gives us the boost towards irrigation, which helps us get our boosted our science up faster with our observatories and shit. And then yeah, that's that. And then he said 2 tiles to the southeast, so 1, 2. So moving to this tile here beside the truffles, that's good. We get an extra amenity. Or sorry, it's not good. Let me rephrase that. So by moving there, you would get an extra amenity. Here, you would have a tile as well to boost the wheat. Now, that isn't necessarily horrible, except for the production. That is why I would definitely not do that, because again, as I had already mentioned, you definitely want at least 1 2-2 tile. And like, although the 3 gold is nice and the extra amenity, I definitely still would not do that. And then, so the next suggestion was in place or the cattle below. So this was in place. You have 2 2-2s. You do have a nice spot for a farm for the housing increase. But again, like, had we settled here, we would literally have absolutely 0 locations for our observatories. And so it's not completely horrible, but again, that for the reasons that I've already gone through, that's why I wouldn't do it. And that one was from Jodwin66, and then the next one was Settle on Rice from Jacob Johnston. Where's the rice? Tyler is blind. I don't even fucking see the rice. Am I that remedial? I really, really think I am. I do not see the rice at all. Maybe he was talking about the cattle? Or maybe he meant wheat. No. Yeah, I have no idea. So I think he was talking about the cattle, but so again, I've already explained that one there. Then the next one was 1 to the top left for 3 2-2 tiles in the inner ring, and that was from Creeper King. And again, that is definitely a decent suggestion. because again, it does leave you with the farm, the flat land for the farm that you don't have to chop, so you can get the housing up and keep your capital growing fairly quick. But again, just it doesn't leave you with any opportunities for our unique building, which is definitely something you want to get going early on. But the early production is really nice. Then the next one was I moved down 2 tiles to settle between the cow and the wolf, and that was from Yan Luo or Yan Luo. Between the wolf. Oh, okay. So he meant truffles, like the pig. So. Yeah, move down 2 tiles to settle between the cow and the wolf. Yeah, so this is what he was talking about right here, this tile. And again, that actually is a decent suggestion, except for the production. But ideally, there would be hopefully another plantation-based resource there. And then moving down would be, I would settle in place. There is cattle, stone, and 2 2 tiles, and opportunities to sell downstream later potentially. So again, as I had said, not completely horrible by any means, but I would still have made the moves I did, because I'd much rather take this settle with this location on turn 3 than take that on turn 1. But that's just me for the reasons I already went over. And then the next one we have just in place, no, so I've already covered that. No, 2-2 settle on fresh has no 2-2s in the first ring, and neither does the cattle, and that was from Jordan River. And again, with the Maya, the freshwater doesn't matter at all, except for commercial hub adjacency bonuses. And then Kenneth Massey also set in place. So we've been over all that. So now the next 2, hold on 1 second here. Okay, so if it was any other civ, I'd settle in place because of the 2 2s. Because it's Maya, I take advantage of her many boosts and go 2 tiles down next to the truffles. Alternatively, you could look at putting an observatory there instead, so you have the pasture and some farms to boost adjacency. That would definitely be a consideration. However, for everything I've already mentioned, I would still go up to the north, because production is king, especially in the early game. But a very, very good suggestion, and that one was from Philios R. And then the next one, Polaris Gaming, said the 2-2 tile across the river. So I'm assuming, yeah, he's definitely talking about that one. And so that is, like I said, a decent suggestion, because you do have the 2-2 tile on this plains hill to work, but I would have taken it one step farther and gone where I did for the reasons we talked about. And that one was from Polaris Gaming, so thank you, Polaris. All right, moving on. These are the last 2 comments to talk about here, and I left them last for a reason. One is very, very long, and then the other one is the most similar one to what I did. And so the next comment says, first, I'd move that warrior to get more information, likely northwest, to keep the 3 2-2s in the inner ring, and also allow at least one more. Okay, sorry. First, I'd move that warrior to get more information. Correct. That is exactly what I did and why I did it. And then he's saying likely northwest to keep 3 2-2s in the inner ring, and also allow for 1 more settle on the river. As the Maya, I don't need the river, but I also don't see plantation resources for my observatories. And that one was from Tim Mang. And again, Tim definitely knew what he was talking about, and moving the warrior first to get more information, just like we did. And again, that would be the best alternative settle to what I did, in my opinion. It might even be better than the settle I chose. However, I still would much rather take the settle and do the route that I did, because now we do know that we have a plantation-based resource, and a turn 3 settle on standard speed on single player is nothing to worry about whatsoever. Anywho, so then this is the last comment here, the last suggestion, and it's very in-depth, so I'm going to have to take this step by step. But it says, if it were Cree, obvious place would be the stone, but it's not. So most other civs settle in place, 2 times 2-2 tiles, and is less visible to barbs than a plain hill across the water. I would highly disagree with that. Well, not the first Cree part, but anyways. So most other civs settle in place, I completely disagree with that. If you were going to settle in place, I would definitely, or not settle in place, sorry. If you were another civ, I would personally but I would definitely settle this hill right here if I was another civ. I still have the fresh water. I still have the defensive bonus from the hills. It does suck a little bit to override a grassland hill, and the 2-2 base production is nice to have here, except for the fact that you lose out on other tiles. So I would definitely, if I was another civ, I would definitely settle right here. And that way you have 3 2/2s on your inner ring. You do have fresh water. You still can build farms and stuff for the bonus to your irrigation. You can mine the stone for the bonus to masonry. You can mine that grassland hill for the bonus to oh god, it's been so long since I played Civilization. Mine the hill for, or no, never mind. Yeah, forget that. It has been too long since I played it. You'd have to mine this one in order to get the boost for whatever the fuck it is. For the boost to the wheel. That's what I was thinking of. Anywho, so that was the first part, but it goes on more. With no mountains nearby, it offers with no mountains nearby, it also offers a nice district cluster on that lower hammerland. By hammerland, he means the lower production land down here. A government plaza between the cow and wheat opens up 2 or 3 commercial hubs and at least 2 campuses with jungle. But this is Maya, so he continues on. Oh, and then he also said Apadana or Forbidden City on stone, Cedar on cow, Big Ben on flat jungle. And then he continued on by saying, but this is Maya, so this is a clear regenerate map, or at least move warrior 1 to the northeast to see if there's luxury. So I think we moved to the northwest. So I definitely, yeah, don't know what northeast. You wouldn't be able to move him and see past this, I don't think, unless he's... No, we only moved him the one time, I think. Anyways, so again, I did what I did for the reasons I did, and now we found what we were looking for there. But basically, he had the right idea. But in case of Maya, I would move settler to the jungle plain hill across the water first and see if I could settle on it, or even further northeast. So exactly, there you go. He's suggesting exactly what I did. Move the settler to this tile, and then possibly move it further northeast, which I did, and I have a turn 3 settle. So definitely agree with him there. And yeah, chances to settle by luxury for bonus amenity or having plantation summer. Exactly, that was definitely the right train of thought. And he is actually, like, he wrote this, I'm assuming he's talking because he read the comment about the person settling down here near the truffles. He says, I would not settle west of the truffles, too low production, and then 2 tiles in the third ring and +1 amenity in capital does not justify such a severe hit to hammers, which he means is hit to your production, and 100% agree. And then he says, mine needs ton of hammers early for builders, and I agree with that as well. Everybody needs tons of production early, but the Maya specifically, because you need to get that builder out in order to boost your housing production, since you do not have the fresh water bonus. And yeah, it's super important. And that comment was from Encaged Cajun. So thank you all to everybody who was a part of this and left comments and suggestions on the first part of this little series. And yeah, I think going forward we'll keep this going, except for I was actually planning to play this game as like an early game tutorial thing, so I think I'm gonna have to reload from turn 1 because I have the stupid turn timer on, which isn't a problem for me. But going forward, I'll make sure I have those, like when I do more of these series, I'll make sure I have the mod shut off. I just literally hadn't played frickin' Civilization in like 2 months almost, so everything got turned back on when like the latest patch came out in December or whatever. But on that note, thank you for watching. If you are watching on a desktop or logged into a mobile device on the actual YouTube app itself, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner of the screen right now to another guide I have on settling cities and district like placement and stuff like that to help you get better if you're interested. Other than that though, I'm gonna wrap it up here, so thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you around.